Hey everybody, I'm Tusker Boy, and this is a commentary about Red Orchestra 2, which is the game you can see right in front of you. Red Orchestra 2 is a World War II set, multiplayer-centered first-person shooter, based on the battle around Stalingrad, where the Russians and the Germans sort of duked it out over the tiny city. I'm about to spawn in as the Rifleman, which is one of many classes offered in this game, and this commentary is basically supposed to be an introduction to using the Rifleman class, because most people will end up having to use that class. The other classes in the game include the Assault, the Elite Rifleman, the Machine Gunner, the Marksman, or Sniper, the Squad Leader, who can, pulls out binoculars and offers artillery coordinates and waypoints for the rest of your squad, the Commander, who can use the radio to drop in those artillery coordinates, and tank commanders and crewmen, anti-tank soldiers who use anti-tank grenades and PTRS, and engineers who use satchel charges and submachine guns to blow up objectives. The basics of the Rifleman is just a bolt-action rifle and 2 grenades, which is not very much to go on. But if you're the Russians, you're given the Mosin Nagant, and if you're the Germans, you're given the Kar 98 bolt action. These bolt actions only have 5 bullets in their clips, so efficiency and precision is kind of a key requirement for being a good rifleman. The role of the rifleman is sort of like a general infantry, mainly based in mid to long range combat, with an emphasis sort of on defense, because you don't want to be rushing into buildings with something that can only fire one shot before it needs rechambering. Main tips for the Rifleman I guess I can offer is using cover like I am at the moment. You can see me dropping in and out of the cover. Keeping your targets at a distance, being efficient, seeing as you only have 5 bullets, and making sure that if you do get caught in close combat that you are willing to run right at the enemy and sort of beat them up with the butt of your rifle or the bayonet if you've unlocked it. In this gameplay here, you'll see me mainly doing long range shots, and I'm pretty sure near the end I get a few people with bayonets. Another of the mechanics that Tripwire put into this game that Riflemen really need to watch out for is suppression. If any bullet in the game goes anywhere near your character, friendly or enemy, there will be a little meter in the bottom left hand corner that will slowly reduce, and if that gets to the 0, right near the bottom, the screen will go very grey and it will start shaking a lot, because your soldier's very scared of all the bullets whizzing around his head. If you get into that situation, the best thing to do is drop to crouch or drop to prone and just sort of like crawl away. Make sure you get away from those bullets, because if they shot over your cover, they probably know where you are. The territory game mode that I'm playing at the moment is, I guess you could compare it to the Battlefield Conquest or Call of Duty's Domination, although it's not really as fast paced as those games. The main 2 styles are sort of like a neutral one, where each team will spawn either side of a large map, and they'll just run at these objectives and capture them in sequence, and then they'll reach in the middle, and then you'll start sort of that forwards and backwards approach to capturing one and losing another. Or you can have an attack and defend style territories game where the attackers are given one objective. As soon as they take that, everybody gets sort of shifted back and attack the next objective, kind of like Rush in Battlefield. Just there's a lot more than 4 bases though. You can get anything up to about 8 territory zones that you have to capture, which can lead to some pretty long games. Another way to win, other than the obvious, capturing all the objectives as the attacker, is that every time the attackers capture an objective, a timer starts. It's usually about anything from like 3 to 6 minutes, depending on the distance between the objectives, and it's called the lockdown timer. And if that reaches 0, then the defenders will win. It's sort of a way that the defenders can hold off the attackers and win, rather than just annihilating all the reinforcements and stretching the game out for a long time. As I just mentioned, the other way to win is by reducing the reinforcements to 0. So every time you respawn, like I'm about to do, it will subtract 1 from the reinforcement counter in the top left of the screen. When that reaches 0, everybody else who happens to be still alive at that point has 1 life left. If they die, you know, that's it, sort of like a sudden death situation. It can lead to some pretty tense situations where both teams will reach 0 at similar times, and you know, you have this sudden death shootout to find out who wins the round. The other thing that a rifleman really needs to be cautious about, I guess, is bullet damage. If you get shot in by any part of your body other than your head and your heart, you get this little indicator telling you that you need to be bandaged up. If you press control while you're, you know, still in that sort of semi-injured state, you can bandage yourself up and you'll be fine. You can keep running. I'm pretty sure that there's no accuracy diminishing or, you know, slowed sprinting or anything like that. But you only get 3 bandages, so if you get shot more than 3 times, which is pretty rare, and still survive, then you'll have to just ride out that last bullet wound until you bleed out. I'm not sure if it happens in this gameplay, but I might get shot in the stomach and you'll see the screen slowly fade to black. That's like a mortal wound, but it's a bleed out, and it allows you to still fire your weapon until the screen goes completely black, which means that if somebody shoots you in close range in the stomach, you have the opportunity to shoot them back or bayonet them. I had one guy decided that he'd shoot me in the stomach. He watched me stumble, and I guess he just didn't know about the bleed out time because he started walking towards me, and I just bayoneted him in the chest, which was quite a good trade. While you're in an objective in this game mode, you'll notice that there's a little icon at the bottom in the middle of the screen. It's a red star for the Russians and a green cross for the Germans. If you notice next to those, they'll have soldiers, and each of these soldiers sort of represents the ratio of the number of people that are actually inside the objective. So it's, you know, it will only go up to 3, so that doesn't mean that there's only 3 people in that objective. I've been in situations where there've been, you know, 10 people either side, and there's only been 2 or 3 soldiers on the ratio at the bottom. So while you're in the objective, just take note of that. Make sure that you know, you're not in an objective with an overwhelming number of enemy forces. Anyway, that's it for the tips and tricks I have to offer. If you want to rate, comment, subscribe, you know, all that goodness, feel free to do so. If you want to see any more tip videos, I'll be happy to do one outlining, you know, like the assault class, the machine gunner, the marksman, maybe the squad leader, going over, you know, their mechanics and how they work within the game. Feel free to let me know in the comments. Anyway, I guess I'll be off now. I'll let the gameplay run out now. Anyway, I'll see you in the next commentary.
Killed for just one drink of water.